Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I want to talk today a bit about what does the narcissist really feel about you, right? If you've been on my channel for a minute, you'll know that, first of all, I'm going to tell you that they can't love. They don't love, right? The narcissist is a soul-detached human operating with an entity of consciousness called narcissism. So the behavior is very predictable, very systematic in terms of the exact sequences they go through. And their reactions and responses are very predictable because they're void of emotion. The narcissist is pretty much void. They're not empty, they're not in remorse, they're not guilty, they don't feel any of that. How would they carry on doing what they do if they did any of that? None of that is genuine, even if they fake an apology. They're pretty much void. They do go for endless supply. They are insatiable in that sense, but it's more that they just feel empty and they want to fill themselves up because they're just empty. They're just dead inside. They're not really, there's not much emotional stuff coming out of them, apart from a few things. One is they feel very superior to you. In fact, the best things about you, what makes you unique, what makes you authentic, what you care about, your heart, your compassion, all of that, which I think are the best things about us, are the things that they look down on the most. They feel superior because they're not governed by those things. I've heard them say things like, you know, the thing about you, the difference between you and me is, someone saying this to me, that I had a conscience and they don't. That was my brother. He thought he was superior because he had no conscience. He could be ruthless, heartless and brutal, and he thought that that was true power. And the fact that he didn't care about it, didn't regret it, and showed no remorse and could go out being completely corrupt was a bonus. Obviously, that's not how I see it. And I don't see my conscience as a hindrance. I see it as a beautiful thing to help us connect to humanity. So another thing narcissist does not ever feel is connection because they're never being real. In fact, they think it's ridiculous that you'd want to be that vulnerable. They'll never be truly vulnerable with you, ever. Not that there's, well, you know, and to be vulnerable, they'd have to tell the truth, which they don't want to do. So they're pretty much void. They feel heavily superior. They are very contemptuous. They look down on everything about how we behave in response to them, including the fact that you'll take them back, forgive them, you know, that you'll fall for their games. They think it makes you weaker than them and they look down on it, right? It just confirms to them why they're justified. You will hear them say things like that. Like, you know, if you've ever done anything that they don't like, that isn't, which is easy to do because they think everything should be around them and what they want, they will not only use it against you, they'll keep score and punish you and use it to justify every malicious, dark, nasty thing they do against you, right? They'll have kept score over years and make everything justified. So they think that everything they do to you that's awful is justified, right? And a lot of the time it won't make sense why. But in their mind it will, because if you've ever done anything they consider is worth, is not totally perfect, which is basically everything because they judge everyone, right? Another thing, you know, they can be terrible like road rages. They do seem to, I don't want to call it jealousy because it's not jealousy in how we see it, but they're very, it's not jealousy coming from the emotion that we would have it, like a normal human being would have it, because we'd feel jealous because we'd want to have the thing that someone else has got sometimes. Or we might feel that we lost out unfairly, so we'd feel jealous of someone when we think we should have got the promotion, not them, that kind of stuff. With a narcissist, they have a wickedness. I don't call it jealousy. It's like a wickedness. And it's not necessarily that they want the thing you've got, but what they definitely don't want is you to have it. They don't seem to want anyone to have anything other than them. And so when you succeed, when you thrive, when you get things that make you happy and look impressive to other people, this really irritates them, right? So it's envy. It's like a wicked envy. It's way beyond jealousy, but they really will want to take away things from you, bring them down. They try and sabotage people, you know, all that kind of stuff, because even if it isn't something that they would want, they definitely don't like other people being in positions of authority above them. They definitely don't like people having things and being happy in their lives that they can have any impact on, right? So they feel that. The anger and this idea of the narcissistic rage. So how do they feel? I don't feel it's rage, and again, like, so we would feel anger. So anger is a healthy emotion we have naturally when we cross our own boundaries or someone crosses our boundaries. We feel angry, right? And it's healthy. With a narcissist, they do rage, but it's not, again, they don't come from the same emotions that we do. It's not that. It's like they just tantrum, like they're kind of like, it's just aggression. It's not really anger in the same way that we feel it, because it's not coming from, as I say, like being hurt that your boundaries are crossed. It's this, what people are calling a sense of entitlement, but honestly it's just aggression as far as I can see it. It's just aggression. It's just aggression that they channel. So they're aggressive. I don't think it's worth comparing. They have zero empathy and they don't have the emotional capacity that other people have. So when we try and project empathy on them, we're missing the point. They do what they do because they're dark and they get a pleasure from seeing people in pain. They feel superior about it. They're not governed by their childhood trauma and what happened to them, and even their day at work. Even if they will use events, they will always use events in their life to try and manipulate you, but that's not, they behave the same anyway. They behave the same anyway. So they're not feeling anything that we feel in the same context. And all their kind of narcissistic rage and stuff, it's just aggression. They know how to be aggressive. It's not anger in the way we'd see it. Their jealousy is different. It's not jealousy in the way we would do it. There is no true love with them. They will say they love you to get something, but there's no love. And you'll know that their actions will be the furthest away from love, right? When you love someone, you want the best for them. You be prepared to sacrifice the people you love. The narcissist won't do that. They will destroy you. They will destroy you if you don't give them what they want, or at least try to, right? Not that they can destroy us, right? So they don't feel anything good about you. And because of that, I guarantee you, they feel entitled. If you're with a real narcissist, they feel absolutely justified, this is the worst of it, and justified to behave the way they do towards you. And this is part of what keeps you in this constant doubt and like second guessing yourself, because we can feel that energy. So we start thinking, well, maybe I do deserve it. Maybe I did do something wrong, and going over and over again, what's wrong with us, rather than really looking at the core fact, what is wrong with them. Narcissism doesn't get cured. They don't heal because they don't want to. They think they're superior until they saw it as aspirational to want to care for people. They won't change, right? And in order to do it, it would take a lot of work. So they don't believe in that. They enjoy what they do. It works for them. And we tend to project a lot of emotions on them that they truly don't have. So just, a heads up that maybe we want them to feel it, or we try and understand it by what would make us do something so horrible to someone else. What would make us behave in that way? It's not the same reasoning at all. They're highly aggressive. They think they're superior to you. They've got a lot of aggression, and they're prepared to get what they want at all costs. Right? And they like punishing people. They like making people powerless. They like people losing in life because it makes them, especially if they've done, it's not just what they get in life. If they can take something away or be the reason someone lost, they feel quite happy with themselves. Right? They get off on what they do behind the scenes, play dirty behind the scenes, backstab, talk gossip, betray in numerous ways. They get off on it. It makes them feel powerful. They don't feel guilty like we would if they do something like that. They actually get off on it. They get a kind of power hit. They think they're proud of themselves, which is really sick. That's how the narcissist feels. If you want to join Sovereign, we're doing pre-work right now until I'm not launching the modules yet, so there's time to get in for the pre-work. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.